Silence, silence. Silence is the attribute of the sacred silence. Only in silence and in waiting faith and hope are found the true attribute of the axis of the world. All that which moves around only sustains the silence of waiting that lies in the void. Many of those who observe me and hear me still cannot achieve silence. And regardless of whether I share my breath or the whole truth of the universe, it will simply be noise for those who do not know how to be in their silence. This is a year of practice for silence, for only from emptiness can we correct the idea. What is the idea? Idea is simply an image, the image that I from within have of all my exterior. And it is the idea or image that projects in me the idea of who I am. Correcting the image implies correcting the observation. What is it that my eyes observe so that I observe with my eye? To transform the idea is to change the observation in silence. This will be a year to practice silence, because we will soon, all together this time, sit down to review the idea. All of you who are here observing and listening at this moment must invite the world to change the idea. That is why soon these conversations will no longer be between me and I am, but between all of us. For those who do not know who I am Ghan, the weaver of the 8th level. I am the I am of the speeches of the I that I have designed under the name of Matias for many years. During time I have only spoken with him, and he has translated what I am and I say. Soon he must let go of the shame of being a channel. A channel can only be a channel if all the electricity of those who observe support it. Matias can only be a channel for me because thousands support this channel. And so, I will ask you a favor. Support the channel from your own silence. Everything that we are going to build will depend on our capacity to find silence, of learning to breathe in order to hear and thus be able to see. I will not always speak in the same language. You will never know what about, how or when. You must only pay attention to silence, and I will focus on answering your questions in said silence. A new stage begins in this path. You can call me the Weaver, simply silence. Our first great meeting will be very soon in the following days, and we will begin to explain the plan again. I wanted to make a video to invite you to Holy Nada, but it seems that there were other plans, so I will not say anything else. Silence, and our next stage begins. For those who do not remember Ghan, who is my higher self, the Weaver, and was the one with whom I spoke every day inside the pyramid, and with whom I had the daily conversations of the I and the I am. But very few times do I dare to do it in public because it never happened either, but lately, for the last month, he has been telling me that I have to let go of shame because in this new stage he is going to start telling stories and talking. So sometimes I might do it in English, sometimes in Spanish, sometimes I don't know in what language, but, surely I have to break my barriers of spiritual shame and start sharing more, be a channel for him, be a channel for myself in another dimension. And that's what has had me telling you, I'm going to tell you lately. A lot of things happened, but I'm going to tell you, because all the things that happen are very crazy. And most of them involve Ghan and his conversations and his messages. But it's so hard for me to translate it. It's so hard for me to tell everything because it's too much that he told me. I'm going to do it myself, so I'm simply going to allow that to happen. And for me, February is always a month. in which the paths begin for me. February always represents the month of Aquarius, where everything is transformed, where everything begins for me. In a few days, I'm going to be in India, in Prayagraj, as part of a mission that the weaver told me I had to be there for, and well, he will probably tell the story himself in the next few days. I don't know if it will be this February 11 or February 14, I don't know. But I'm simply going to invite you to speak your mind, because the way he speaks is very strange, and yes, it is very strange, and he has a way of speaking very much like a puzzle, and can be strange. And sometimes the dialogue is not direct. I mean, it's not a dialogue that goes in line, but it is a dialogue that is woven, and it connects to different ones. Sometimes it starts at the end, then in the middle, it weaves his conversation in a very strange way. He uses my body and speaks like a spider or like animals a lot. So more than anything, I invite you to enjoy it like a play, and take what you can as if it were a complicated movie. I think that. And well, that's it. And what I'm going to ask all of you who know me is to always try to explain to the new ones, to tell the new ones who get to see this or listen to the messages. Please explain to them who Ghan is, who the weaver is, why am I channeling, that he is the being that has really woven the whole project that I am doing, and now he wants to speak. So that's it. Please help me explain it to the new ones. Help me explain to the people when they see me in a very strange situation, a very different one from the way I usually am. And thanks for helping to translate. Also, for the moment what he said was silence, and I would like to clarify a little what this is from what I understood. When we are like asking ourselves many questions, or questioning, why is this like this? Why does this happen? This and that. Although there are many things in our heads all the time, and in order to change our idea means image, and in order to change our idea, our perception of reality, it is important that we first close our eyes, stop the image, listen, then stop listening, stop thinking, of telling ourselves things within, questioning things within, and reach silence. And it is only from silence that we can begin to listen correctly from breathing, listen correctly, observe it correctly. That is why for the messages that are going to come through him, what he asks is silence. Prepare ourselves in what silence means. Well, that, and I think it has to do with the mission of Holy Nada, which is basically to return to silence in order to correct the music with which to calibrate the entire universe. And yesterday I was with a musician that I didn't know was very famous apparently, and we were talking just a little bit, and then we started to make music. He put on some music that he had created that I didn't understand what its purpose was, and I started to be Ghan, the weaver who started to make sounds, and we started to generate situations with sound, with music, and one of Ghan's messages was, he's going to explain it better, but it was that the entire universe is as if it were music, and that each song that exists in the universe is a specific map to a specific time, and that when all the songs are combined, the music of time appears, and we can then use a compass there, which is the compass of time and space through each song, each beat, each sound that exists in the universe. When they are perfectly aligned from silence, we can connect with a multi-dimensional map through time. It's not just a song, but it's a design of time. And what he was saying is that we all started to sing in different rhythms. We're all following a different rhythm that generates a trauma. And that trauma became our song. Then we repeat it constantly in our head. our own song without understanding the greatest symphony. What he said was that all these years what we have to achieve is to return to silence, to begin to correct the pulse and begin to make the music of time work correctly again. So, it's a task that depends neither on me nor on you, but on everyone. And as he always tells me, our role is not to save the world, it is to be the storyteller. So I'm ready to be the storyteller, and may Ghan's stories serve those who need it to really do what they have to do to correct reality. So, that's good. I'm very ashamed of this, but he's not, so it's going to be very entertaining. Well, and to start with this task, I remind you that 2026, 2027, and 2028 are going to be our practice task of weaving that time and space, and that in 2025 we are going to practice how we are going to do it in the next 3 years. So I invite you to practice. Our first practice is going to be in Yucatán in Mexico this March. So I'll wait for you March 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th in Yucatán in Chichen. That was what I wanted to say at the beginning. But anyway, thanks for being there, and I'll see you in a few days apparently.